This classified government document dated April 1971 remained secret until it was released. Under the 30-year rule, it proves Heath's government knew the 1972 EEC treaty would lead to the loss of sovereignty, and was there for treason. They had a stunningly accurate picture of the EU, which never was the EEC, an economic community, expecting Britain to be abolished after the turn of the century. The authors, all civil servants or ministers, are very pro-EU. Their intent is clearly to conceal the loss of sovereignty. But they understood perfectly it would all be abolished. In public, Heath's government all lied the treaty would not affect a sovereignty. This includes Douglas Hurd, still an active senior conservative, who is also both a liar and a traitor. A point we put to him at the Conservative conference in Blackpool. He assured us his connections and the legal profession would ensure he was never convicted. Here are just a few of the damning sentences. Parliament controlled 11. Membership of the communities will involve us in extensive limitations upon our freedom of action. For the first time, Parliament is binding its successors. Increasing loss of sovereignty. The loss of external sovereignty will however increase as the community develops, according to the intention of the preamble to the Treaty of Rome to establish the foundations of an even closer union among the European peoples. Small threats to sovereignty, like Burgess, Blunt and Maclean's selling secrets to the Russians, attract 30-year jail sentences. The penalty for actually losing even small parts of it until 1998 was to hang by the neck until dead. King Charles I was executed for treason that was, by comparison, relatively minor. Lord Haw, Germany calling, William Joyce, was hanged for treason on 3rd of January, 1946. His efforts on behalf of Germany were tiny by comparison with Edward Heath's. Our law subservient 12. The power of the European Court to consider the extent to which a UK statute is compatible with community law will indirectly involve an innovation for us, as the European Court's decisions will be binding on our courts, which might then have to rule on the validity or applicability of the United Kingdom statute. The writ of a foreign power is not allowed under the British Constitution, which Heath was breaking, predicting monetary and military union 18. But it will be in the British interest after accession to encourage the development of the community toward an effectively harmonized economic, fiscal and monetary system and a fairly closely coordinated and consistent foreign and defense policy. If it came to do so, then essential aspects of sovereignty, both internal and external, would indeed increasingly be transferred to the community itself. No withdrawal, sovereignty diminished 22. Even with the most dramatic development of the community, the major member states can hardly lose the last resort ability to withdraw in much less than 3 decades. The community's development could produce before then a period in which the political practicability of withdrawal was doubtful. If the point should ever be reached at which inability to renounce the treaty, and with it the degeneration of the national institutions which could opt for such a policy, was clear, then sovereignty, external, parliamentary and practical, would indeed be diminished. Disinformation after entry. There would be a major responsibility on HMG and on all political parties not to exacerbate public concern by attributing unpopular measures or unfavorable economic developments to the remote and unmanageable workings of the community. Transfer of the executive 24. The transfer of major executive responsibilities to the bureaucratic commission in Brussels will exacerbate popular feeling of alienation from government. Erosion of sovereignty 24. The more the community is developed, the more parliamentary sovereignty will be eroded. The right to withdraw will remain for a very considerable time. The sovereignty of the state will surely remain unchallenged for this century at least. The EU bureaucracy will rule 25. The impact of entry upon sovereignty is closely related to the blurring of distinctions between domestic political and foreign affairs, to the greater political responsibility of the bureaucracy of the community and the lack of effective democratic control. The writer's understanding of the future of the EU is bang on. They wanted the bureaucracy to take over from the democracy. The loss of sovereignty was desirable for them. Legally, traitors working deep inside our government